Hello, folks. It's I, Kamikaze. And before any of you say the typical things like condolences for your loss or anything of the sort, I don't know what to do with those. I mean, I thank you for caring. I just don't know what to do when I hear it, besides, like, feel even worse. Loki had to be put to sleep this morning about 2 hours ago from when I recorded this. So probably 2 hours, 10 minutes or something by the time it gets posted. And if none of you know the story, Loki's been an indoor cat and been a pain in my ass ever since she was a kitten. And I've disciplined her for absolutely everything because she just was biting things, peeing in wrong spots, so forth. And even with discipline, she said, you know what, fuck you, I'm going to do it anyway. When she wasn't doing that, she was a nice cat. Um, but what ended up happening in uh, before July, she started having an autoimmune disease, which may have been, I mean, she would have had to have it or whatnot, but it may have been jump started because apparently she may have burned her feet. And so she started going downhill from there, but she was still active, running around and all that kind of stuff. Just, you know, a little bit worse for wear, and losing hair and whatnot. Then one day, which was uh, July 2nd, is when I noticed. So it probably was July 1st or the June 30th. So Loki and Momo like bolting out the door when the door is open. Momo bolted out. I went and grabbed her, but I didn't notice Loki did too. And since Loki wasn't feeling well, she had a box that was near a wall and she would stay there for long periods of time. So I thought she was just staying out there. But when I noticed there wasn't pee on the floor or in the bathtub, I was concerned. So I went to try and find her. Found out that she wasn't around and that at that point she's been outside for about 2 days. And she's an indoor only cat. We're talking like 2 days before the 4th of July. We're talking about 90 to 100-degree weather, 100-degree plus what ended up happening. And I honestly didn't think she would survive like 3 days out there. And I contacted all the vets and so forth, and posted, missing cat kind of things all over the place. Never heard back. I even offered, and not like I had the money, but I would have found a way of getting the money. I offered $1,000 to find her. No one found her or anything. And then 46 days later, my neighbor came and got me saying that there was a cat missing hair behind her trailer, which is literally diagonally, like not even 30 feet from my trailer. I went out there to find out a non moving Loki, not non moving as in she couldn't get up and run, but she hissed, and then when I said her name, she immediately calmed down. I picked her up, I took her to the vet. Uh, um, an exorbitant amount later, because I said for them to do whatever they can to make her healthy enough to come home. Um, I brought her home, and I also had a little place set up for her with like, I mean, it sounds weird, but like a little gated area with a whole bunch of puppy pads on the ground, so that way she could get reacclimated to life. So she had a bed, scratching post, food, water, litter box, everything in there. And so she'd been in there for pretty much a month. A month is about how much time. And she was doing a little bit better and then started doing worse. And the last couple days, I noticed that there was like brown spots on the pee mats, and then yesterday I noticed that there was one that was directly below her bed, and that she peed through the bed onto the mat, obviously unintentionally, and I don't think she even could move at that time. And so I took her in today. uh she had jaundice, which is what I noticed beforehand. I even brought in one of the pads to show what was going on. She was having liver failure. She wasn't eating or drinking, which I kind of noticed, but it always looked like she ate a little bit and drank a little bit, but apparently not enough. Um, she couldn't stand anymore. And as much as I didn't want to, I ended up being there for when she was put to sleep. They couldn't even find a vein to give her an IV or something through that in order to put her to sleep. So they had to give her a sedative, and I got to watch her slowly, slowly fall asleep. She wasn't put down at that point, but when she fell asleep, her mouth was open and her eyes were open. She still had a heartbeat and was breathing, but it was like something that's going to be burned into my mind forever. So then it took them a while to find the spot they could stick the needle correctly. But she couldn't feel anything because she was asleep. And then after they injected her about 15 seconds later, she was gone. That fat cat. Loki was the fat cat. Loki was the bitch cat. But Loki was my buddy. Every night, she would hop up and want to get under the covers, and she was just like a teddy bear. I could wrap my arms around her and she'd purr and I'd fall asleep. And eventually she would just be like, "Oh, he's asleep, get up," and she leaves and does her own thing. But in the end, she couldn't do any of it. She couldn't even jump before she got lost outside. But this fat indoor cat only with an autoimmune disease survived outside for 46 days without dying. With no animals, no cars, nothing. She literally didn't experience any of that. She survived it all. To show up so close to home, and it gave me a chance to be with her before she passed, but Loki in a nutshell. An obese cat who never learned the concept of stop eating, never learned the concept to pee in a litter box, only poop. Pee on smooth surfaces or pee in the bathtub. Which the bathtub's fine, I could turn on the faucet and wash it down. She chewed at cables and over the years had destroyed hundreds of dollars in cables. Her favorite flavor was Samsung. I don't know why, but she would seek out Samsung cables and eat them. I don't know what you're doing with them, Samsung, but keep it up. They're flavorful. But yeah, so I haven't been really active on the channel for a while and live streams and whatnot because I've been dealing with this stuff most of the year. And any of you know my history. Yeah, last few years have not been too terribly kind. But shit happens, you know? But yeah, I will always try and get into gear. I've got meds to keep me level insane. Um, due to my depression and whatnot. And then I find out I have um what was it? Heartburn, which caused me to have vertigo and shit like that. I mean, I've got something for everything now. I'm old. I'm dying, just like everyone else. But I miss Loki. For the last couple days, the last 2 days, I had her right here. I took the bed with her in it and placed it right here and gave her lots of attention. I'm not one to believe in like the afterlife or anything of the sort, but if there is, I hope to God she's in the best place possible.